We are live, or not live, but it's recording. So,
Episode 1.
episode uno,
Fight!
just talking online. We'll see how this goes. How you doing today?
I'm
Well,
good.
I guess we have to introduce ourselves because no one knows who the fuck.
Oh, yeah.
This is. I'm Jerry Jobert,
I'm Marcus.
and yeah,
We're
just,
fancy.
Yeah, we're just decided to try this out. So yeah, how you doing?
I'm good. I've been over here enjoying this nice beach weather, you know.
Yeah, that's one thing about the Southern California Mexico vibe is it doesn't change too heavy
And not at all.
because I can't even imagine what's happening right now in Georgia. Like I feel like that's first that brisk air, like
Yeah.
all the leaves are falling. Yeah, it's a mess.
And on the east,
I promise.
all the weather's harsh.
Mm-hmm.
You get all the humidity, all the snow,
Yeah.
hurricanes.
Yeah, there's no relief until you literally go down to Florida, but then there's no relief to be found in Florida because you're now in Florida. So it's
Alligators looking
like if
you
you
eye
want
to
to get
eye.
weather, you gotta go to like just the most chaotic state that we have thus far.
And that's only momentary relief.
Yeah.
Until the season comes.
I do feel like it builds better character though,
Yeah.
and maybe funnier people. I've heard that argument done, and I do agree. Just something about the winter snow, like coming out of that, is a lot.
I agree with that. I feel like it's something to work ethic or even basic everyday activities, because when you have to shovel snow so you can get out and have your regular day,
Yeah, just to go to the car.
it's hard to do a little different than when you're complaining with the palm tree in the background.
That's we've talked about this before, but like I understand crack and cocaine happen, but the fact that gang violence started for like the black community in LA is the most fucked up thing. Just because like I don't understand how you could be that angry enough to drive by on somebody with palm trees and stuff in the background. Like I can understand the angry person in the winter. Like it's cold. I haven't been outside for 2 weeks. I want to talk to some people. Like I understand where anger will build up. By the time you get outside, you're just like, all right, I'm fucking something up.
Yeah.
But it's like, yo, it's year round. It's December. You're in shorts, and like you want to bang on somebody. I don't understand the motivation.
I think it's because they came from before the social media age. They can't see a video of themselves doing it. You see that palm tree behind you when you do it.
Well,
You gotta chill. Like,
should you need shouldn't you just see it? Like every time I wake up and I look outside, there's not any anger I was possibly feeling is gone because like it's too nice outside.
you forget about those palm trees once you've seen them enough times. You need that new perspective to even see them.
That's fair.
That's that third person recollection. Like, oh,
Take it for granted.
might have been a little harsh shooting the whole clip. Maybe just 2 shots.
Yeah, like you had to unload the whole thing. Like it's 70 degrees outside, bro. like violence in Chicago, weather alone makes sense. It's like, yo, it's too harsh to not be angry.
Yeah.
Like to not just want to kill niggas. I get.
You gotta keep in mind, they make up for the weather with the clothes they wear. It could
More
be
stylish
70.
on these.
No, I believe you, but they're wearing that same pea coat and it's only 70 degrees. It was made to be worn in 40, 30 degree weather.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, LA's just. That's a whole different thing. LA's a whole thing I don't understand. Like, I don't know why there's so many homeless people. Well, I know why there's so many homeless people in LA. I don't know why they don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Or why everyone acknowledges it, but at the same time doesn't seem to give a fuck about it.
Yeah, it's weird how hard it is to find someone willing to help the homeless people that are all around. The
Like,
very people you would even think is like a lot of people we have in government that are running. I feel like we're never talking about like, oh, what about homelessness? Like global warming, all of those things are
But
great, but
see,
we have really pressing issues.
but like it's weird though. Like we have no. I don't want to say we don't have any problem with homeless people, but like we turn like a blind eye to it often enough. But at the same time, it's support our troops and all that shit. And it's like, well, these are veterans. There's a lot of people. These are the troops that we're all rallying for. But then as soon as they like their duty's done, it's fuck them. Like, what
Yeah.
are we? That's some.
And it's weird because so many people are all about the troops until the
That's what I'm
troops
saying.
get home.
That's what I'm saying. That's a bar.
Like-
We only care about you while you're in Afghanistan. Like,
yeah.
where's the humanity?
And the worst part is, like, when they're out there, they're doing good. They have money in their pocket. They're not injured. It's when they come back. They had to come back for a reason.
Well, I mean, even if it wasn't, like, you just that adjustment, like,
Yeah, that's
that's a whole lifestyle change.
that's hard.
And then the people around you, that's assuming you all came back. If you didn't, you just lose your best friend to a fucking grenade. Or I can imagine the amount of violence and getting used to it and being on like ready for it, like almost braced constantly for it, and then to come away from that where it's not a thing at all. You know what I mean? Like just that inaction.
Yeah.
And you're trained to do this thing, and if you like doing that thing, you've reached a whole nother issue of like, all right, how do you live outside of that?
And I think it's also strange breaking out of that routine because they put you on a solid routine.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
You have. I would think in the military there's such a sense of purpose, even if you don't know why you're doing what you're doing. So I think there's a lot of I'm gonna fuck up that word, compartmentalizing of information. So it's like, you know what you need to know on a need to know basis. So you may not know why you have to attack the bunker, but you know you have to attack the bunker. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing. So even with that lack of possible knowledge, you still have a purpose. And every day is, I would think, would be mission driven or something. Like you're just always working towards a thing. And in regular society, you can have goals for yourself, but you have to dictate those. Like there's no one telling you, all right, you need to prepare to buy a house or to, provide for yourself. There's no one over your back yelling at you to do those things.
No directives.
So you need to be self-motivated in that. And plus, the stakes are so low. Like what? Like I think about things here that people make big deal over. It's never anything important. And even things that are important here, it's rarely life-threatening. You know what I mean? Like the stakes are just zero in comparison to war, or even any level of war.
Yeah.
Even if it's not full-blown front lines, like even if it's, I don't know.
And I think Obama exemplified that the best when he was talking on David Letterman. They're going into it, and he's mentioning while he's writing his book, he has, I think he had like his publicizer. They were telling him like, oh, it's an emergency, you have to come quick. He goes and they're like, oh,
Letterman.
It was a little insignificant. He was like, well, you got to keep in mind,
like, I don't know if you understand, but in my former job, when someone said we had to make actions quick, there were lives on the line.
Yeah, people dying, man. It changes everything.
Yeah, that's what, and he's doing that from the comfort of
from home.
BC. Like, you know what I'm saying? Man, it's a whole different thing. So I don't know how you adjust, but we need to figure it out. It needs to not be what it is. Like,
and I don't know how much therapy that they put out for our veterans, or even how they place our veterans into these different places, because I have friends that are veterans and they'll talk about they're getting misplaced, they're getting put in places where these people out of their minds and they're just a little shell shocked.
I would be misquoting when exactly, but definitely within within the last 7 years, I would say conservatively, the VA, the Veterans like hospital, their shit wasn't even computerized. Like the whole system was still paper based.
Yeah,
Like
they're
it's the
very
most
slow.
disorganized shit I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And everyone's gonna fall through the cracks when the system's not even set up. Like it's not even digitized. We can't even share information. Like what year is it? Like you know what I mean? That was well into the 2010s. So yeah, we just don't care about a lot of stuff. But like humanity gets pushed to the side way too often.
Yeah, having everything at the
These
tip
are
of our
fucking
fingertips.
heroes.
Yeah, having everything at the tip of our fingertips really takes the importance from everything.
Takes away all the urgency. You
Yeah,
think so?
yeah, because I mean, while they're struggling, we find out by opening up our handy dandy phone and getting on Google News. Oh, this many troops died. Like, oh, sucks to be them.
So, I don't know what movie. It's some Marvel movie, but some villain had that exact same. Maybe it was the Joker, not from the Joker, but from the Dark
Christian
Knight
Bale's.
Rises. I don't know what it. I don't know who it was. I gotta look for it. It may have been for that Joker, but he was like, it was him. He was like, people don't get upset. He was kind of saying like people don't get upset. It's the right things or when things happen in place, it's fine. Like he was talking about like you find out 100 soldiers died, it's no problem because it's part of the plan. It's when he was in the hospital
With Harvey
trying
Dent.
to convert
Turn
him
him
over.
out.
That speech
Yeah.
is that. It's like if it's kind of part of the plan, we're fine with it. Like this is, insurgents get blown up. That's just a sentence. That's not.
Just casualties.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. We don't really put a face to it. You don't have to really think about it. No one you knew that knew anyone. Like it's so disconnected. But it really shouldn't be. But if it were, it'd probably be crippling. So I don't know how to deal with that.
And the reason I bring up the phones is because I think that it's really important, the change from back when everyone used to read the paper and there was like the little boy that was handing them out.
Extra.
Read all about it. They had that intensity because you're looking in another person's eyes as they tell you the news. And the TV, the screens, they take all the seriousness from it. Even very real, or maybe that's TV.
Maybe there's just too much going on.
Yeah, that too.
Because as you're saying that was outside of a 24-hour news cycle even. Like that was like that newspaper was all the news you got. You didn't go home and there wasn't like 5 channels telling you everything. You know, from around the world or even from your neighborhood. There was like an hour worth of news on TV, and then there was a newspaper that would come out the morning before that would maybe fill in, either repeat that shit, and or fill in some other shit that might have happened locally or otherwise. But like now it's you literally can't escape shit happening, or it's always happening. There's always some like right as I'm saying this very sentence. There's probably some wild news like
just being
event
made
happening just somewhere. Like someone's rioting in Hong Kong and just got shot, or I don't know, Syria. They're just being the whole Middle East is like on fire.
And it's too easy to You're right. It is overexposure. It makes it too easy to dismiss stuff in preference to other stuff that might not even matter.
But how do you care about everything? Because I heard this conversation. It was on Brilliant Idiots, and Schultz and Charlemagne. They were talking about Hong Kong.
Okay.
It was a couple episodes ago. They talked about the Hong Kong stuff. LeBron and LeBron's answer was bad, and he finally came around, and they're all, and I've heard they had a conversation and some other people had it, and it was just like, man, well, it's interesting that none of the Chinese people asked LeBron about how the black people are doing back here. It's like, well, they don't care about us. Why are we now having to care about them? It's like, to me, that's true. It's a slippery fucking slope. So
Exactly.
like, because I understand like, it has to be okay not to care about everything. I get that because we have to all individually progress, right? But to acknowledge something is terrible and then knowingly turn your back to it seems dangerous if that's just how we're all gonna view things, because then nothing will change, right?
Yeah, I think that's a right for regular people. I think that when you get to a certain level of celebrity, if that's your opinion, you got to keep it to yourself because you're setting an example.
Well, I'm not even about like, I don't know. Why though? I don't. This shouldn't be the
Well,
case.
I think that any person does have the right to not care, and you can't really get mad at them for it.
No,
But that's for regular people. When it comes to these people that have real influence, that when they say that, other people repeat those thoughts, now you have a problem. Because when he says, I don't care about them because they didn't care about us, or anything that can come off immature in any way, other people, there's some dummy across the screen that's like, yeah, he's right, and he's gonna go spread the word to 10 others. And
But see, I guess I don't know. I don't feel like that. You can't. I don't feel like there should be big enough difference between regular people and people with influence, just because even a regular person could have influence over somebody, and that's just I understand the scale is smaller, but the impact is the same, like in smaller doses. But like I don't know, it's just a dangerous thing. I think to just
I
knowingly not care about
I think it's
atrocities.
I think it's bad in all cases, but I think that it's actually a red flag, or it's actually something that needs to get addressed when it's someone that has enough influence. Because if they don't have enough, yeah, it's bad, but I mean, eating McDonald's is bad. That one burger won't do much, but if you eat that en masse, now it's a problem. And that plays out for a lot of our stuff, that even though while I'm saying this, I think that this is part of the problem, and that's how we small step ourselves into new things all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That one person gets away with it, and another, and eventually you got a whole group. They make up a majority, and now
Yeah, 'cause I just think of like when I remember when that was happening. I kept thinking about Martin Luther King, and he has this quote, or yeah, I think it's Martin Luther King. Injustice anywhere is injustice to everyone or everywhere, something to that effect. But even beyond that, I think about just his movement, or just in general. Like if that same attitude were taken then, where would we all be? Because his whole thing was, all right, I'm gonna do these peaceful protests, and I know what the reaction is gonna be, and so he informed the media, so everyone's there with their cameras. They show up, and he's like, watch this shit. This is gonna be nuts. I swear to God. And he's like, all right, we're gonna go in here and we're gonna try to eat. They go sit down at the counters. People come up. We don't serve you kinds around here. All that shit. And they call the police. Police are with the shit. They brought dogs and they brought everybody. And so they drag motherfuckers in the street, hit them with hoses, like just fucked up. Like the worst possible way you can just treat people. Sticking dogs and water hoses on, high pressure water hoses. It's inhumane. But Martin Luther King knew once that was captured by the media on camera, and that's on 8 o'clock news, something has to change, because you see these images and it's going to turn your stomach. And even if I'm in New York or Washington State, I see these things happening in the South. I care about it. You know what I mean? Like that was why the civil rights, that's why that worked, because he made people care about it. He weaponized emotion, and I hear people say that as a bad thing, but I don't think it is when it's done right or done towards a good thing. Because weaponized emotion is just making people feel something, and then making people act on that feeling. And so we just can't go from that, from using that influence to make a change that allows so much. Our world would be a whole different place. Like, we wouldn't be here. I don't even know what things would look like. It's inconceivable. It's a Twilight Zone world of a place. But like, we can't. That's only possible because of empathy from everyone.
Yeah. For
a group of people that are being disenfranchised. And now, 2019, we're here. We made it. LeBron's balling. Oprah's a billionaire. Tyler Perry has a giant studio, bigger than all other studios, on Confederate land. And we can't care about the Chinese? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what is progress if it's not caring about the other people down once you get up a little bit?
And that's part of the reason that I say it's for these influential people, because even when you said that there's no reason that Martin Luther King should have gone about things the same way that LeBron James went about them.
Wait, what? Well, go ahead.
Or he shouldn't have had that opinion.
Who? What?
Martin Luther King not having the same opinion as LeBron James played out to us having all of these freedoms. And if he wouldn't have, we'd be in a dark place.
Yeah, and I don't even want to put this really on LeBron. That wasn't.
No, I'm not.
LeBron just got caught in money. Like, I really don't. They blamed him because he was like a figurehead to blame, and his statements weren't great. So, and this is also coming off of the shut up and dribble bullshit, which some white lady on Fox said that about LeBron when he tried to take this was a couple years ago.
Okay.
Basically, it was after some terrible shooting or something, and LeBron had a statement about it and whatever, and Fox News was like, we don't want to hear that shit, and it's one of those white ladies, and she was just like, yeah, you need to shut up and dribble. That's what you're here for. And it's like, everyone's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
And so
that's nuts.
Yeah, because like, sports and politics have been intermingled since fucking Hitler came over telling a master race, and we fucking smoked him in track. And you know what I'm saying? Was that in Mexico? I think it was Mexico City.
For what, the Olympics?
Yeah,
I think they held the Olympics there. And
no, I mean when that was
no,
that was like know. Jesse Owens, wasn't it?
No, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I really feel bad about being wrong about that.
No, that's worth looking up though.
Yeah, please do save me on that. Yeah, because I mean that was a big thing. And even before that, like boxing.
Yeah, that happened in Germany.
Huh? No.
Jesse Owens, Olympics in Germany.
That was in Germany?
Yep, in Berlin.
What year?
1936.
In Germany. That's a badass thing to do.
That was also when the veil came off for us finding out a lot of how Hitler was mistreating his people.
Oh shit! Yeah. I should know more about that. I'm just gonna go at it.
I didn't know anything about these Olympics.
No, but that was it was a whole thing. Like Bill Bergen had a joke about it. Like he's like, how quiet had that riot have to be for Hitler? He's like going to the games like, yeah, we're gonna do great, and going back just like,
you failed us.
Just angry.
I want to know what. And this is I want to know what happened
pissed.
with the runner.
Huh?
I want to know what happened with the runner.
Oh, he was never heard from me. I don't know that, but I feel like I know that.
That's a talk I wish was recorded.
Nah. That was a quick one.
You failed
that
Germany.
Conversation was fast. You have failed us.
Yeah, because
that was a vicious one for sure. No one's been fired that harshly ever.
no one been fired that
He put
harshly,
him under the dungeon.
and no one went missing that quick. We saw him when the race was over, and then
if he made it out the stadium, he was blessed, man. Like, seriously. If he made it out the locker room without someone choking him the fuck out. In Germany? Like, this would have been... I literally thought it was in, like, Mexico City or some shit. It was like, you can get lost in translation, find your way to Argentina or some shit. You in Berlin?
Yeah.
Your house is already on fire, bro.
Right next to the Iron Curtain.
Like, we here in the United States now, like, if like, your team gets to the Super Bowl, tied up, 3 seconds left, field goal to win the game, and that some bitch misses, he's fucked. And we're civil. like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's the whole paycheck.
He's done. Like, fuck a paycheck. He's in danger. Like, he has to move. You gotta change your name. Your shit's not the same. That was the plot of fucking Ace Ventura. The first one.
Oh, that's another one.
He became a woman. Oh, you didn't see the movie?
No.
Oh my god. Alright, yo. I'm gonna give you a quick synopsis of fucking Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. First one. Jim Carrey's a pet detective, which he doesn't talk to animals, but he like works with them or works through them, or he finds them. Something to that effect.
It sounds like he talks to them. They just don't talk.
And so basically, the Miami Dolphins, someone stole the dolphin. And he's put on the case to find the dolphin because that's his shit. Through this entire process, there ends up being like one woman who's a policeman, one woman detective going through things, blah, blah, blah. Turns out that there was a kicker. When Miami went to the Super Bowl, there was a kicker. He missed the final kick. Up and to the left, strings out, like he went fucking crazy. And people like attacked him, like they just fucking TP'd his house and all that shit. Like they go back to his room and it's like graffiti. It's just, people just fucked it up. So he's completely cast out. Like this is an NFL player, just cast out of society. He became a trans woman, I guess, or he went all the way through and became a woman. And the whole movie's great. It just gets super transphobic at the very end, like last 5 minutes, because like they find out this chick is him, and she was like kissing everybody through the movie, so everyone's like, ah, like it's fucked up. But that was the whole thing. He became a woman because he went crazy because he missed the fucking field goal, and he had a whole revenge plot against the dolphin because he said the dolphin made him miss or something crazy. Like it was, the movie's interesting, but I say all that to say that. That was America still, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just to even think that could be a plot for something, because that would, you're completely alienated at that point.
I think our progress on jokes has been a crazy thing to watch too, because even you talking about the transphobic bits at the end, like lately, where we've gotten all the way away from it, but that was a fast change. It happened pretty quick.
10, 20? Well, yeah.
Because I feel like Dave Chappelle was making those trans jokes just in like...
You just went hard on the last special.
But now we're talking about him. But I feel like they weren't talking about him until like, what, 2005? Something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like as a global... Because even in that movie, that was like in the 90s, early 90s.
Yeah.
That wasn't like the point of the movie.
Like, definitely.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like even they didn't say trans in the movie. Like it was just this guy becomes a woman, but she still had the dick.
Yeah.
So that was like a whole. It's a wild movie.
But I only said that because I mean it goes for a lot of categories. Even like if you go back even a little further, they were doing blackface and stuff not too long ago. Like you gotta go back further.
These are giant skips in time.
Yeah, they are.
30s.
They are.
That was okay.
Yeah,
that's a long time. And even this, I mean, the trans thing is true.
But I think that
I guess as far as the switch,
I think the '80s they were doing a blackface TV show. For a cartoon. Yeah, I think so.
In the 80s?
Yeah.
Well, like some of those.
It was a cartoon though.
A whole cartoon?
Yeah.
Like that was like because
it wasn't the point of the show.
I've seen some blackface-ish characters in shows, or even not blackface, like super racist, like Speedy Gonzalez, like his cousin was like always like, you know, the trope of the sleeping drunk Mexican. Like he would always be under sombrero, sleep, and wake up just drunk. Like,
yeah,
just, all right, this is blatantly terrible. And even like Dragon Ball Z, Mr. Popo never rubbed me the right way. I never knew what the fuck that was thrown in there for. That Mr. Popo, that's his name, right?
Yeah, Mr. Popo.
Mr. Popo, and why was the dude called Mr. Satan? Like, it was just strange things.
That had something to do with the changes they did for
from Japanese to English.
Yeah,
but like you couldn't. That was it. That's where we landed, though.
Or,
like that's a weird thing. What makes it just super? Because there's like a billion names you can go with. Like it could have been literally anything, and that's where we landed. And it was never cool, but it was whatever when he was a super side character. But as time went on, he would be more a part of things because he was rich, or Bulma, like he somehow related to Bulma now, some through marriage or something. Oh, Gohan's wife is Mr. Satan's daughter.
Oh, yep. Yeah.
So I guess he became more of a fixture. Like he would come in, he became a plot device even. So it's just like, all right.
Actually, it was the other way around though.
Wow.
He was Mr. Satan in the Japanese version, and then he becomes Hercule.
I feel like I remember Hercule.
Yeah, that's Mr. Satan. He becomes Hercule though.
I feel like they might have. So when did they change the name, or when did what happened?
I don't know.
As you said that, I kind of remember that from back in the day.
Yeah.
Like if back with like when Namek was exploding for like 3 weeks. Like
70 episodes of one explosion.
Son.
And a whole lot of screaming.
I will never get, as long as there is media, that will never. I gotta show you. There was this Instagram thing one of these guys made, and it was like that. It was like it's fucking hilarious. He's like, yeah, in 1 minute or 6 seconds, bomb will explode. Then all this shit happens, and these two guys just watching like. It's been like 6 seconds, right? Like we've been talking, like we're here, like it's been cool. It's like how much time's passed? 1 second. What the fuck? Like, they go, they like travel somewhere. He has to find a manual to disable the bomb. He disables the bomb. They go out to dinner. It's just like we drove all the way here. There was traffic too. It's like what the fuck? There was traffic. It's like he had to find the manual. He had to read the manual. And he did. How much time's passed? 3 seconds is some bullshit. Like, I gotta say it to you. This shit is so funny.
That's TV in a nutshell.
I was dying. I was like, God,
every superhero, anything you've ever seen, they start a time limit. It's never the time limit.
It's like, why would you even start the time limit? why would you? Because I, as a kid, I had to justify that shit to like make it make sense. And I was just like, with Dragon Ball, I was able to do it because they already had the super speed thing where even us watching it, and I was a kid watching a cartoon because I took it seriously, and I just have to. I was fucking.
I understand.
10. So I'm like,
it's easy.
This didn't happen yesterday.
I was dancing with the songs.
I mean, that's all good. But I'm saying like, so my justification was like, we're watching it in real time, right? But sometimes they fight so fast where we can't see it. It's even the flash, you know. And so I'm like, in the time when like the Namek thing in particular, because that one fucked with me. Because I was like, yo, how long can this possibly go on? Like, a lot has happened. Like, a lot. A guy has died.
1 minute left.
This guy is transformed. This guy is transformed. We've cut off his tail. Shit's like, what is really going on? Like,
And only one volcano's erupted.
like, other people are on the planet escaping and shit. Like, they're running and talking. It's like, yeah, what is it? Like, so my whole thing was like, all right, well, they can go super fast. They're crazy. So in this time period, the slice of 60 seconds or however long, they're just somehow going extra fast. You know what I'm saying? And like, this is, so we're kind of watching this show in slow motion.
Yeah.
If that made sense. And if you mix those two things, you come to a normal speed. That's how I justified it in my mind. So this is even these conversations are happening. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
that's how I imagine it happening, and then we're somehow just getting a slowed down version of that.
I was honestly
That's
really,
how I justified liking this thing.
I was really lucky because I couldn't have kept watching it if I did that in my head. I was just silly enough to be like, yo.
That was the first time I think I was just too deep into a show. It's like Game of Thrones last season. Like, you can see this turning into a dumpster fire. It's like not going well, but I'm too deep. I gotta go to the end of this. But I'm not gonna stop 4 episodes in, like,
yeah,
or 4 episodes from the end.
I need to see the
when
end.
that fight was too dark. That was the Starbucks cup. Was that before that?
No, the Starbucks cup and that was like the same episode.
Yeah.
That was all one episode.
God damn. Yeah, that should. Yeah, and I just couldn't. I remember even having like just kind of like we talk to other people about it, and
the quality drop off.
And like I had to do some mental gymnastics. It was like, yeah, well, it's dark, and they're just trying to give us the real feeling of fighting at night. It's like, nah.
Directions in the background, like, that wasn't this one, guys.
Yeah, it's like the art direction that we were trying to capture is how would it be? How does cold feel? How does darkness feel inside and out? That's the picture. Fuck you guys.
Those media artists be spinning something.
Because like if I were a director, I would spit some shit. Like I would we fucked up. I'll talk about it internally, but then talk about it. I'd give him some bullshit.
I don't even know if the job allows for someone that would do that to get the job. Like, I feel like,
but they'd already done it well enough to that point. Or I guess I know there was a show writer change at some point.
Yeah, but
like
with that last season,
it was a dumpster fire.
It's hard to make the claim of having the previous credit. Like it's hard to bring up your history when you're at the very end.
There's nothing else you can do.
It's not, but it seems like it doesn't work because I feel.
Oh no, there's nothing. You can't justify what happened, but you have to do something. You have to try. Like that's what I'm saying. If you've already fucked up, like you fucked up, and now you're just waiting for people to see it, and you might not even know how bad you fucked up, even though I don't understand how that last episode was filmed and everyone kept a solid face. Like how, like when they called rap on Game of Thrones and Bran is sitting there on this, well, not even on an Iron Throne, just in his own chair that's now the throne. Like the camera guy should have even been like, for real? Like, what? That's what we're doing? Like, Bran? I've been talking shit about Bran half my life now. A third of my life has been hating this motherfucker since he fell out a window. For him to be king is... I don't know what makes people right anymore. What pisses people off enough to really get out in the streets and fuck shit up? Because I don't know where HBO Studios is, but it should have been like some pressure.
That seemed like it was another case of people subverting expectation just to subvert something. Like, yeah, we know you think John's about to be king.
Yeah.
But you have another thing coming.
Yeah, I get... Yeah, I always felt like Jon wasn't going to be king because of that, but they went way too far. Bran.
Yo,
And his whole justification was that he was saying that like yeah, Brand has the best story. He has the worst story by far. Like, he's the most undeveloped. Like I care about him. Every time he comes on, there's an audible sigh. Like I'm just angry.
For that part, I understood because out of all of them, their stories are really conducive to them being warlords or being not capable of running a country. For Jon Snow, like I never thought like, oh, this is the guy that'd run a country. Like
Jon Snow can definitely run a country.
I don't know, man. I felt like he was the one you sent to go kill people. Like, yo.
Yeah, but see, the thing is,
Daenerys definitely couldn't run nothing.
No, she got she went.
They did it wrong
mad
at the end, but
no, I'm saying like Jon Snow was the guy. He was obviously the guy. He was too obviously the guy, because like he's a warrior, but he doesn't want to fight. He's like Captain America, and like wholesome. He doesn't want beef, but if you bring it to him, he'll take care of it. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna stray away from it either. But like none of those battles, Jon was like, "All right, we gotta go fuck shit up over there." It was always reluctant. Like, this is the only thing. This is the only choice. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And at the end of the day, even like now, like I think of like reality, like presidents, like I don't need the smartest person to be in control because you're not the only one doing all of this stuff. Like I just want someone that I know has people's best interests in heart, for better or for worse. Like he may not know what to do, but at least I know what he's going to pick isn't malicious towards humanity, or he doesn't care. And then he would be also so that's a prerequisite. The second would be a person that is smart enough to put smart people around him. Because you're not making those decisions by yourself, or you don't have to. And if you have a good counsel around you, you can really have good debates about the subjects, and then come up with a good solution, and then he's the figure piece to deliver it. That's how I think about presidents now. The same thing. I don't need a guy that knows how to do everything. I just need someone that knows to bring the people around him who's gonna do the right things. Like someone that's gonna fill the cabinet with the right people. The person that's gonna be in charge of defense should be someone from the defense, area, like a former sergeant or however high up that goes. Yeah. The best of the best. Person over economy should be someone that fucking knows money and economy. You know what I'm saying? Like public housing, someone that knows the housing market. Maybe even someone that's been poor before. Like just throw that in there, just because he at least empathize what the actual situation is, not someone that has no idea what a food stamp is and shit like that, like, or how important that could be to an individual or a community. That's more important than that person coming and saying, I know how to solve this, and this. Because I don't expect anyone to. Because, like, we can all talk about these things forever and come up with 10 solutions, and none of them could be good. You know what I'm saying? Like, world problems are too big for one person to put it on their back. I just need someone that's going to deliver it to them, someone I can trust, someone that I know that when I look at them in their eyes, I know that they care. Like, he may not know what to do, but he cares. That's more important than me.
Honestly,
someone's just saying that I know how to do everything, because I don't believe that. And if you don't care about me, it doesn't really matter anyway.
Honestly, I felt like that was the reasoning that took away from Jon being able to be king. Because I felt like he had a similar personality to Ned, and Ned made the first mistake of trusting Littlefinger. And I feel like they almost exemplified that perfectly throughout the show by making the references to his dad at like good timing, and then even having Sansa come by. I think it was season 7. She's like, "Yeah, you forgot to put the leather on them, so they'll be warm, and they'll have that extra layer."
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like Jon would have Sansa,
yeah,
or even if it was Sansa, she would have him. And they would have their squad would have been so. I mean, their squad is still.
I felt
thick.
like it was just a better. I felt like there were better choices. I thought Sansa was a better
Everyone's a
choice
better
than
choice.
John.
They're
I
all
thought.
better choices. Oh, than John.
Yeah, I thought Sansa was a better choice than
Sansa's
him.
number 1.
Tyrion was a better choice than him.
Number 2.
Varys was honestly my number 1 pick, but
nah, he needs some nobility.
That's and that's why I thought he was so perfect.
He's 2 from the bottom. I mean, like I agree, but like as far as authority in that world, he doesn't have it to wield.
He wouldn't be able to get to it, but I thought he was.
Yeah, but see, again, he's that you want him there though.
He was.
The squad needs to be thick.
He was the hero we deserve. Oh, he's the hero we needed, but the hero we don't deserve.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
because he, I don't know. There were just so many better choices. Even
way,
if they would have went with they could have went with a bad choice. I wouldn't have had a problem if the world would have still been in complete flux going into a final credits. I didn't need a solution either. The world could still be burning. Even
though they really stressed that it wasn't going to be like a happy ending, they kind of did it like a happy ending.
That's what I'm saying. But it wasn't. It was a happy ending, but nobody was happy about it because it was shitty.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna go happy, I understand not wanting to go expected. So because John was so obvious, you couldn't pick him. And if we're going for that, I'm fine with it. Sansa's next, and that you did get past that is crazy, and and the fact that the whole. Why are we talking about Game of Thrones? Why the fuck are we talking about Game of Thrones doesn't deserve this from me anymore. At all. I don't. Why? No.
Honestly, I liked the last Game of Thrones season. I know I'm in a minority.
That's insane.
I did. I thought they rushed it, but I thought they did the story well.
You're good with all of it.
Well, which parts wouldn't I be good with? That's the part.
Bran. I don't really understand how we get past that.
Okay, yeah, Bran,
finale.
But the Daenerys bit, I liked it. I thought they did it
cool
really
with,
well.
Jamie and the Lannister brother and sister just dying in rubble.
Yeah.
That was so shit.
Because
these are such main. They started the whole thing and they just.
But for them, even their whole purpose was kind of purposeless. They just wanted power for power's sake, basically, and then they died in the pursuit of it, and it was super insignificant.
No.
Well, what did they want to do with the power they got?
Huh?
What did they want to do with the power they got?
No. Fuck the power. They only want the power because they were entitled to the power. That part is kind of whatever because that's the only reason they wanted it, just because it was the name right and they had it. So it's why wouldn't I want it? But Jamie even gave up on that a while ago. But by the time he got his hand chopped off, he was like, all right, that whole pursuit's kind of nuts.
That's kind of what made it so dope.
But they started the whole thing.
Because
especially if you're going to make...
I feel like Cersei was the one that... I feel like she just wanted to see the world burn by the end.
Yeah.
Mix that with the fact that Jamie was seemingly predestined to die from her stupidity.
Mm-hmm. That's all fine. But not just holding each other in a fucking... That was so anticlimactic. It's unbelievable. They started the whole thing. The 3 people that are responsible for Game of Thrones, for the whole shit being dismantled, is the 2 Lannisters and Bran.
Littlefinger.
Huh?
Littlefinger.
No, it's all about that one moment at the end of episode 1 where they're having sex and Bran's climbing up the window and he pushes him out. That trifecta of 3 people, that one event started everything.
But they didn't know who to go for.
No. I mean, no, we're not talking about how the characters. I'm talking about as us as the watchers.
Oh, okay.
Not how the characters. I'm talking about as the viewers of Game of Thrones. That event set everything in motion.
Yeah.
That dismantled the family. That's the kingdom. Everything stemmed from that. And then they brought it, or they tried to bring it full circle at the very end by Bran being king So there should have been, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna, and I don't agree with them doing that. Let's make that clear. But they did it, so that's what they were trying to do. They're trying to go full circle. So if that's that half of the circle coming all the way around, these other two dying just for nothing is just kind of diminishes their whole existence up to this point. Like, how does no one saw this was the baddest woman on TV. She was the scariest woman I've ever. Probably the most powerful woman since fucking the chick from House of Cards, and I didn't even see how that ended because Kevin Spacey, whatever. Yeah. I don't even know what he did, but that shit just ended abruptly.
Playing with little boys.
She's like, little boys. Not even. She was good, but no one's diabolical as Cersei. Like she was on, and just like everyone. If everyone had a kill list, she was on the list. No one got to fill the list, and I respect that Arya didn't because she made that. I don't know why we're talking about Game of Thrones. Arya, she made that fucking morality switch at the end with the hounds, like don't become me. And I actually love that part. Like,
that was a great part.
But even, god damn it, what happened to all the face shit, the masks, the mini faces shit?
That I'm not satisfied with the loose ends
they didn't
left.
use it at all.
Yeah, no, they left a lot of loose ends.
And they had every opportunity.
Yeah,
she had to sneak into a giant city under guard, and
And I guess the reason I say my opinion of it the way I do is because most people's complaints about the show are the wrong complaints to me. Like if they're gonna say they didn't do anything with the faceless men, all right, cool, I get that. Like they left a lot of loose ends. They had a lot of different like theories that people were running on throughout the whole show that I know they knew.
See, I feel like that could have been. I feel the internet might. I don't want to let them off the hook, but if I were to, it's still their fault. But like, if somehow they were, if they got into the culture of the show they made, like seeing people's reactions, seeing people's fan theories. Because once you read those fan theories, now they can't really become canon.
Yeah. You
can't steal them. You can't. So, I would be afraid. That's why, like, the Rick and Morty guys, like, they've said it consciously, like, yeah, we can't read the fan theories or whatever, or, like, opinions, or we won't give answers to, or read fan theories about different things that they've set up, like the evil Morty or whatever. Because what if you read one and that was what we wanted to do? It's like, can we still do it? Is it hacking? Like, there's a huge conflict there.
Yeah.
And if somehow they got caught up in that conflict, then that would have fucked them because Brand's the only theory that wasn't a theory. Yeah, no one wanted that shit.
And I don't know how far that was from the George R. R. Martin ending.
We never finished it, right?
But I think he had a general outline of how it was supposed to end already.
I heard. So, I wonder if it's his fault. Because actually, no, that part gets kind of left.
I also want to be clear that my problem was a lot of it being that they didn't make it long enough, much less the story itself. Because, like I said, I was kind of satisfied, but if they would have extended it to be a regular season, that would have been fire.
Absolutely. That came down to money, I guess, but it shouldn't have. I don't know. There's no excuses for it. I don't want to talk about it. We've been talking about this for way too long, and I hate it. It just makes me angry again over something I loved, and it's just a goddamn.
It was a roller coaster.
Yeah, that's why like endings are so important.
They're so hard to get right, or to even make it to. I always bring up Supernatural. It's still a running show.
That show's still on?
Yeah, I think it's like final season coming up.
Shut up. Really?
They've survived somehow.
How many seasons?
I think it's like 13, 14 seasons. It's some crazy.
Yeah, it's more than that.
Yeah, I just said those numbers.
I was in school. Like,
it's ridiculous.
Like when I came on. I remember it.
But they didn't even make it to an ending. Like they got too wild for me at like season.
But if it's still happening, then.
Yeah, but I mean, how much of?
Well, see, there's different kind of shows too. Like, because I feel like there's shows that know that they have to come with a cutoff, or you can't run it forever, and then there's shows that you run until people stop liking because they make money. You know what I'm saying? Like Family Guy. There will never be like a final episode or Family Guy that's. I mean, there might be if everyone just gets tired of it, but
Yeah.
you don't have to. Simpsons doesn't ever have to end, as long as people still watch it. The moment people just stop watching it completely, then it's just over. And you might give it a finale then, just because you'll know you'll get that last final boost if you announce this long ending thing ending. But like, if you're going with like a Breaking Bad, you knew that was gonna end. Like, it was never possible for Breaking Bad to be 10 seasons, because in the first season the clock's on. He has cancer. He's dying. But The Wire, that one could have went on. You could have done that, but like, when it's more serious, you got to know that you're trying to tell a story.
But I feel like a lot of shows, for example, like Smallville, I feel like a lot of these shows, they're supposed to go off at a time, or even Dragon Ball Z. They're supposed to go off at this specific time, but like when you get that fan push really hard, you just keep going. But now that you kept going, you're in some weird territory, and you're kind of just coming up with stuff as you go. I don't know how far Supernatural itself was supposed to go, but like Dragon Ball Z, they weren't supposed to go past what was it? I think the Frieza saga. I think that was supposed to be like it, and then the show ends. It's over. But then people go nuts. They're like, "Yo, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen."
Could you end that after Frieza?
Yeah, I think so. They've ended other shows the same way.
I mean, just think about it. I'm like, so Planet Namek explodes.
Yeah.
Goku didn't even escape, did he? Did he just like get thrown off into space? He didn't make it back to the spaceship, did he?
You don't know. They don't even like they kind of make it a whole mystery.
Ends like.
Yeah.
Was it a spirit bomb? How did that fucking end? How did he kill Frieza?
I think the spirit bomb fails, kind of thing. He gives Frieza a little bit of his power. Frieza goes back to try to kill him, and then he does. I think it was a big old Kamehameha.
Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I was trying to figure. Yeah, it had to be. Yeah. So
Something
I was like
that.
Spirit could have been Spirit Bomb because you can't do it with Super Saiyan.
Yeah,
if he got beat up Super Saiyan, that wouldn't make sense either. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I think Gohan was supposed to really be the primary guy, and then I don't know how he got so clipped.
Oh, okay. No. I got the wrong one. Not Frieza, but Cell.
That makes sense.
After the Cell games and all of that.
Because that was supposed to be passed on to Gohan. That's what that was.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but because fans went so crazy,
they
were like, "Yo, Majin Buu," and Majin Buu was dope, but I was coming off the rockers. Super Saiyan 3 is now a thing. Like, we're just going into numbers. Like, a lot was happening.
But see, it at least sustained though. They kept it interesting.
Yeah, but
I don't think it was.
I don't know how far you can go before people start losing interest. And I mean, I'm one of the ones that lose interest early.
I've watched like all of Super. No, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's just going.
They couldn't even get me to watch it. Like, I watched it because a friend wanted me to watch it before, but like, I'd never put it up by myself. Maybe a fight scene one time.
I enjoyed the fuck out of it. As we're talking about, I could go watch it again like right now. Like, it's like it got crazy and shit kept going. But yeah, I enjoyed it thoroughly. I never got into GT. That was the only spinoff I never really.
Yeah,
I wanted to. Like, I loved
GT.
As a kid, I loved the idea because you'd see like the art. Dragon Ball Z got a weird internet push. Like, kind of in the earliest days of the internet, the art was a big deal. Anyone that could draw as a kid during that time, you drew like Goku. You drew some Saiyan shit. Like, that was a big thing. And people would always get like the images offline. This is back GeoCities. Do you remember? You're way too young for this shit. This is like before MySpace, maybe at the same time when like internet websites looked just shitty. Like, because you could just make them your own, and like they'd be like wild colors, there'd be like music playing for no reason.
That's MySpace.
GIFs. Like, but this was like before that, GeoCities. It was like a Yahoo spinoff. Like, you could build your own site on Yahoo, and it was like a GeoCity. If you know what I'm talking about, just look it up. If you don't, like,
Sounds like a new version of AIM. Sound like a newer version of AIM.
No, they were websites. Like, you could make your own little website, but like they were just so bad. They looked so terrible. Like, those sites being so bad is a reason why sites look the way they do. Why, like Facebook, you can't just customize your own color profile and go to. It's like, no, you can put a picture here, you put a picture here, you can type what you want here. All the rest of this shit is static, because we know if you give you control of this, you're gonna make a mess. Like,
I'm looking at it.
Oh man, it was bad. Like, you have it up?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Sunset Strap or Sunset Strip.
Oh man, yeah. Holy shit. But dude, like, there were so many sites like that. So like, I remember like people would have Dragon Ball Z like sites, and yeah, so like you have all the art, and people. I remember printing out some of the art, even like so you get like the new, like you saw Super Saiyan 3 before it was a thing, because the Japanese was ahead. That's what it was. So like we were seeing those images. So when Namek was going on, like he's going as soon as he went Super Saiyan 1, now I'm seeing Super Saiyan 2, 3, and then when GT came, you had 4, and you're just like, what the fuck is this? And it was a weird thing that it got a little push from the internet, like in the earliest sense. Nothing went viral, nothing went social, but everyone had these pictures. If you did the same pictures, you had a version, and
yeah,
that was a big thing.
I feel like Dragon Ball Z was, and I mean it was for everybody, but I feel like it hit like the part of little boys' brains that Power Rangers hit just way harder.
Yeah.
Because whatever you're hitting in little kids, when you have them in the air doing those same fight scenes and poses, and then they're just shooting energy.
Do kids still do that? Like little kids, like little boys, like when they watch, I don't know what cartoons are now, but I remember like you Dragon Ball Z went off, or when like Power Rangers even more, because I was younger, even younger. Like I'm Red Ranger, you're Black Ranger, yeah. You just go outside and you're just Power Rangers. Like, is that still a thing? Like your
I don't know.
play Power Rangers?
I got nieces. I got nieces, and they're very mature. They talk about doing gymnastics. They don't want to watch TV. So I'm scared for the youth right now.
Talk about doing gymnastics.
Like only little boys I've met, they were talking about animes that I felt like I would have made fun of these kids if I was a kid too.
Yeah, I've seen some.
It's a strange experience.
Have you seen Paw Patrol?
It don't sound right. But...
It's an atrocity. Like, there's toys. It's fucked up. Like, I saw like one episode and I was pissed that this was a thing, and it's a full-fledged thing. Kids like this shit. Like, they're little dogs that like pretend to be, or not pretend. It's a cartoon. So like, he's really a cop and he's really a firefighter. They're like, and it's so bad. And like, if there's like there's no high stakes. Like, they would call them to something. I can't remember the shit that they had to answer to. It's like, someone's missing from this house. Like, it was never a big thing. And then they would come and fix it. And yeah, it blew my mind that it existed.
I was born at the
I
was born at the very end of the like millennial generation, and I feel like I caught like the nasty end of it, because I was really young, but a lot of things were dying to me fast. Like, they had a show called Adventure Time. I don't know what was so different about this show from Futurama or anything like that.
Futurama's type.
Great show, but I get to this one and I'm like, I don't know what we're doing anymore. Like, I started feeling lost. Like, I watched the show with a friend. Like, if the show ends, they're laughing, they're having a good time. I'm not having fun. Like,
I'm not having fun.
I'm kind of mad we finished this episode.
I feel that.
It's like, oh, it's gonna have I think it was like coming on for a marathon or a back-to-back, and it was like, oh, it's another one. Like, no. Let's go to grown person show. Let's get past this because I don't trust anything anymore.
Yeah, it's bad.
And now I stopped watching like any Cartoon Network or any of that. I've come back and I don't even know what I'm looking at most of the time anymore.
I don't know.
The moral of the stories they do sound weird to me.
Yeah, it feels like cartoons went backwards. I don't know.
They feel very grown now.
I was thinking the opposite. I haven't seen enough to really have that hard of an opinion, honestly.
Yeah, because
But just from the few I've seen, it's just like
I feel like a lot of kids are being able to watch Rick and Morty and shows like that, and then that makes your regular Cartoon Network faster to put out content similar or trying to be similar, and that takes away from those like simple moral of the story episodes they used to have, like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You knew what the lesson was by the end. It was a very clear lesson.
Sure.
It was a basic one you can give to kids, adults alike, like Rick and Morty or even Adventure Time at times. Those lessons seem more complex, like they shouldn't be to your little kid, whether that is because little kids are smarter than they were.
Yeah, let's say I can kind of appreciate that, like pushing them. Because I'd rather that than what I've seen, which is like the opposite, which is like these kids even younger kids feel too old to be watching these. Like some of the shit looks like it's for like toddlers and 7-year-olds are fucking with it. I'm just like, that doesn't make sense to me.
I feel like we've also been childizing TV shows. Like BoJack Horseman felt really like it felt like it should have been for children until I started watching it.
I was about to say until they talked. Like,
yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
No, but the fact like these are all animals. Like I felt like I was watching a kid's show until everyone starts talking. Now I'm like, okay, okay.
Well, I think that's just I guess maybe the animal part, but like.
They do it often though. Like it's just becoming common.
But I think that's just because the way we view cartoons changed. Cartoons went from exclusively for kids to now, there are now cartoons focused just for adults. Like Simpsons was like probably a big part of that change because that's not for kids. It never was.
Yeah.
Even though kids could fuck with it, like especially early, it was still. Not for kids.
I feel like South Park holds a little spot right there.
For kids.
Yeah. That holds a spot because
actually, Simpsons had to come first.
It did. I expect it did.
Yeah, but no, South Park is for sure. That's definitely.
Yeah, because I remember. Like I remember kids watching it, and like we're all getting to be teenagers, and I thought it was a childish show, so I was like, I'm not gonna watch that. Like I got grown shows to watch. It wasn't until like I had somebody breaking the episode down, I'm like. That doesn't sound like what I saw on the TV. Like,
yeah, and even South Park's credit, I've never seen that much maturation in anything. Like, that could be way too big of a statement. I'm sure it is, but like on TV for sure, nothing's made that kind of. Started here and is what it is. Like, because South Park was never, like, when it started, it wasn't, like, topical. They may deal with stuff, but it was more just raunchy for the sake of being raunchy.
Yeah.
Now, they tackle shit so big, so smart, and and they haven't lost any of that raunchy edge. It's still gross. It's still, like, fucked up, but, like, they're so talented.
They're what I wish most shows could maintain, like Supernatural.
It's not. See, those two, Trey and Matt? Is it Matt and Trey? Trey and Parker?
Dean and Matt. No. Dean and Sam.
No, you're talking about Supernatural.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
The writers of South Park.
Oh, Lord.
What? No. I think it's Trey and Matt.
I have no clue.
But
that's a search.
They're just special. And they have a writers' room around them, but like everything they've done is pretty fantastic. I don't know when the switch happened because it's just been going on forever. So I have to like look back to
Matt
see like
Stone and Trey Parker.
yeah, when they made that switch to be not conscious but like in the now, and that probably came with their timeline because no one animates that fast either. Like each of those shows, like as they come out, was only made like that week. That's impossible for like cartoons.
Yeah.
Or literally was impossible. Now it's possible, but it's still hard as fuck.
It's not very doable.
It has to be the most strenuous like turnaround TV, because like TV shows will do that live action like a sitcom. It's like yeah sure we'll host this week, but like these are people. We wrote the script like a couple weeks ago. Like we can rehearse it. Like you got to make everything out of thin air with a cartoon. We have the four models of the boys. We have their families. We have the environments. Everything else you have to fucking.
Only upside I could note is that they don't have to deal with the takes for the actors. Because if you have it all,
you have to do that too.
If you have it all written and stuff.
You still have to
the speech front. The speech front is bad, but it's not as difficult as making sure all of the body movements are the right way to express the right things. The drawings express those by themselves.
No, but you have to do. I challenge that directly. Well, for one, you have the verbal do-overs. You have to get the verbal.
Definitely.
Jesus Christ, sound crazy. You have to get the verbal part correct.
The voiceover.
But then when you do the animation, if it's not right, they have to redo the animation, and that happens. Like you gotta watch the South Park documentary, like making South Park like 6 days or something like that.
That's Netflix.
Is it on Netflix?
I'm asking.
Oh no, I don't think it is because it was Comedy Central. I just have it.
Oh, okay.
It's like my second favorite documentary.
Okay.
Lil Wayne the Carter, South Park, Usain Bolt. Just whatever. 3 favorite documentaries.
That's solid.
But the South Park one, they do that because they're making the well, you don't watch. There was one with like a human centipede. They were going off human centipede and new iPads dropping, and they mix it up as only South Park can. And so like they're going through like the things and they're showing the, you remember human centipede, just the concept.
Oh yeah.
Not
oh
I
okay.
watched the movie, but like just people sewn together ass to mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's like parts where they're watching the animation, and one's shitting into the other one's mouth, and it's like and he's like, okay, you got to go back and make that more violent here and do this here. Like just little things. So I mean, I feel like if that were people minus any costume effects, you'd have to do that'd be easier, or you could retake that in the moment. Like, oh, okay, that's
because there's still makeup and hair.
No, but I'm saying like, but even all right. So you're on set. You've done that. You've got your costume together, and you're in the scene. All right, action. Okay, cut. That was good. Let's do this a little different now. Let's get that here. Action. All right. That was tight. I like the energy. Let's add this to it. Go. That's 3 different takes you can choose from, and you can do that as many times as you want in that moment right then. And all of those looks you got at it, you have. So even if the first one was right, but you did it 20 times, you still have the first one. And you can put that in place, or depending on what the scene is, you can edit shit together. I'm gonna take the beginning of this part and then I'm gonna cut it, splice it with this one. He got the better reaction on this take. You can merge all those together. The animation guys go in there, do it, render that shit, come out, and then he gets to he can look at it in time, but it's not up to him really. So then you have to come out, preview the whole thing. In front of them, and then he's giving those directions. Now that animator has to go back in to make those changes, however long they take. You know what I'm saying? That's just that back and forth. It takes out of that moment.
Are Trey and Matt animators?
They did the first South Park, just them.
Yeah, well,
but they did it stop motion.
Okay,
which was way harder.
I said that because that might be a big addition to why they can crank those out.
It's a whole team. It's not. It's a whole team.
No, the reason I said that is because, like you were saying, the animator's not usually the one to make that kind of a decision.
Yeah, but
but if there's another animator sitting next to him, like, yeah, that is what we want.
But it's not. It doesn't. It only comes down to those two. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the animators, they would only be there because they're good at what they do. They can do it fast, and they at least know the style. They know how to match that. So, like, you know, when they come up with something, it shouldn't be just completely wrong from what Trey and Matt envisioned, because, you know, that's why they're on team, because they know, like the voice or whatever. But just for those small changes, or for however big or small, or some just gets cut, or maybe we have to add something else. You have to now animate a whole different scene, like, you know, and those deadlines, again, they turn around in a week. So, like, you can't, it's not even like how long do you think it's going to take to do this? How long do you think it's going to take you to do this? It's like, dude, you have 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, and after that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's gotta, at 5:00 Tuesday, we need to have something to take over to the studio, because they still need to censor it and whatever, and then run it. Like, they show the whole process, and it's just like, it's massively impressive. And yeah, just the fact that, I don't know, it's a lot. Animation is just harder in general, and then to put it on that timeline, like, that's why, like, you know, that's why just cartoons are done so ahead of time, like, you know, maybe like a year out, just because it's just not an easy thing. So there's never been a topical television show that can handle what's happening this week. It was impossible. Now it's technically possible with technology, but it's still the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Even though it's possible, it doesn't make it easy.
Yeah, and I don't know how much of a team you have to make it happen versus what the average person's working with when they start. Because I mean, like,
well, no, and they've grown. They didn't start that way.
Yeah,
that's got to be clear as well.
Yeah,
like, because again,
it started off just them two, and they
stop
did it
motion.
Stop motion.
Like, just literally, they had the little paper. Each boy was like a little paper doll, and you got to rearrange it each frame. Like, if you're talking, you have to, like,
lip up, lip,
click, lip up, click.
That stuff is hard.
It's hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, it's the hardest.
I had a project with that.
It's like, it's the most tedious thing in fucking entertainment.
And they have to do it for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Like, that takes months. Like, they did that shit. That's how that was the pilot. Was they said you can, if you look at the first episode of South Park, you can look at the teeth. I don't know whose teeth, maybe like Stan or Cartman. But there's like a little coffee on there because they had coffee on their fingers when they were moving it. And that's just what it was. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
That's the dopest shit. You know, like, they completed a giant franchise out of.
I love that brown spot
playing with paper. Like,
that's coffee, lady.
It's America in a nutshell. Like, it's so awesome.
Yeah.
Just
we're having a hard time making that kind of stuff. Or I guess that's the thing. South Park doesn't really have to end.
No, that's what I'm saying. No,
yeah,
that's an engine. No, it doesn't have to until it's, well, that one, South Park would be more apt to end than like Simpsons or Family Guy, because South Park without Trey and Matt can't exist. They're too much of a focal point. Yeah. They are the voices. They are the writers. They're the driving force behind it. Family Guy, for example, started with Seth MacFarlane, doing everything and whatever, but as it went on and it got popular and became what it is, other people got the voices of the characters. So, like, now you got writers from wherever. You only need him now, technically. Like, I don't know if he still writes stories even, because he has other shit to do, and it's a perpetual motion at this point. You only need Seth for the voices to play Peter and Stewie. I think I don't know if he does Brian as well. But whatever voices he does, that's the only thing you need him for technically right now. He doesn't have to animate anything. Doesn't need to write any scenes. You know, he's the voice. And if you get someone that can, and everyone has like impressions of people, Stewie. If you get the right person, you don't need him for that either. And he can just be EP and just get to check off the idea. You know what I'm saying? Doing the voice is just another payment thing in the whole scheme. So like that one, Simpsons, same thing. Like, you know, I don't know if the original writers still write for it or whatever, but like everyone knows the Simpsons. If you're a writer and you are a fan of the Simpsons, you can write a Simpsons episode and probably get it to on point for on brand. You know what I'm saying? So those are just perpetual. South Park, I feel like, is a little close home because they write every episode. They're in that writers' room with their little team.
You think Rick and Morty has a similar effect like that with their Dan Harmon and
and Justin Roiland? Yeah, but that could change going forward. That's true now with Rick and Morty only because compared to the other things we talked about, it's in its infancy.
So
like 3 seasons in.
Yeah.
Once it gets like 10, it's a different story. People know it now, but if it's like a Simpsons level thing where it's just ubiquitous, it's just a thing that is just a constant almost in the universe. Like there's televisions, and on television there's the Simpsons. Price is Right. It's just part of the thing. Once Rick and Morty is one of those things, not all the way. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how that writers' room is with them, but I feel like they're still close in there. But with time,
it's interesting how the love for these shows changes over time. Because even the way you said that, like people are still feverish over Rick and Morty because it's so new, it's so fresh.
Yeah, and their pacing is also, I think, helped with that as well. Like I think if we didn't have this gap in between season 3 and 4, like we have now, and that came down to logistics of making it, but I think more importantly the contract, getting it right, because they said they want to do this for the foreseeable future, but we can't do that. We can't throw ourselves all in on one job if this could get canceled, next week.
Yeah.
So we need that guarantee that that's not going to be the case, and they got that. Like they're
7-season contract.
That's insanity. So now they can go all in, knowing that they're secure in that. It doesn't. If we have a bad week, it's not going to hurt anything. We're secure in that. So that frees those creative juices.
And it also gave them some good time to get ahead, because I think they said they already have 5 ready.
No, they're on 5. Season 4 is done.
Oh, okay.
One of the guys I went to college with, we stayed on the same floor in freshman year. He writes on Rick and Morty now, so like he'll do like little updates. Like in his story he posted the first 5 like title names or episode titles. For season 4, but from all I've heard, season 4 is done. They're all working on season 5 now. Okay. So yeah, they're ahead of whatever. They're able to bank stuff now, so they're kind of they've been freed up in pretty much every way. Because now their schedule's a little looser and they have job security, so that's everything. I don't know what more you can ask for.
Yeah, we can get back off of it. Just forgot about this in the Game of Thrones universe.
All right.
They have a new one called House of the Dragon
they're
going to do a Game of Thrones spinoff.
Oh, okay, we can stop this conversation.
You're not watching none
of it.
Fuck
no.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
That's what I needed.
No, I think it might have been canceled.
No.
You sure?
They had a different one.
I feel like I heard that like literally today. Or was it a different one?
Yeah, they had a different one that was canceled. Yeah.
Yeah.
That prequel was canceled.
Yeah, because
this other one.
Why the fuck
is confirmed now?
What is it? Was it a sequel or a prequel?
I think that's also a prequel. honestly, you can't really.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd watch it. How could you trust a show that you can't trust it to end well? And if I can't trust something to end well, like, all right, you can never trust anything to end well, right?
Exactly.
Ever. Like, that's always like, once I get invested into like a show or something, I'm always like, God damn. Now I'm on the edge of my seat because like you gotta land the plane. Like anyone could get it, well, not anyone, but you can get a plane in the air. If you can't land it, it really doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's a tragedy.
It depends on how good of a journey you can make.
No,
Because
literally, stay with my plane analogy.
okay,
You can have a great crew. You got it off, right? You pilot, you fucking got on that runway, sped up, you got in the air. People are fucking with you. People are like, oh my god, this is tight. We're fucking on a plane. Oh my god. And so now we're cruising altitude. We're doing it. Season 2, balling. Season 3, awesome. We're doing shit. 4, 5, cruising. All right, coming to an end. Made it to our destination. Put on your seatbelts. We're gonna start descending, right? 70 degrees. The time is now. We're circling. All right. Game of Thrones. All right. All right. Well, the runway's not clear, and we're gonna have to circle around a couple more times. But as soon as that runway is clear, we're gonna put that right down. We're gonna get you right where we're going. Fuck, it's not really opening up. All right. Well, the airport seems full of planes, and there's no real runway for us. So we're running out of fuel. We're gonna have to try to land this thing on the freeway. We alerted the local authorities. They've stopped traffic. You should make sure those seatbelts are fastened tight, and yeah, just hold on. There might be some turbulence. Don't let it worry you. You okay? Now you're freaked out, but you're still on this goddamn plane. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're looking out the window like, yo, the ground's pretty close, and I see the runway, and it's fucked. It's full. He's not lying. But I'm at a full blown panic because there's nothing I can do. I'm not driving the plane. I'm on the plane.
Yeah.
I can't get off the plane. Come too far on the plane. But now I'm stuck here and we have nowhere to land. And so they go to land and there's no runway. I'm trying to land on the fucking highway. Oh, the wheels aren't jumping out. Why the fuck are the wheels malfunctioning? Oh, fuck. All right, he has to kind of pull back up. Oh, we're coming in hot, but the wheels aren't there. Oh, we're going to come back up a little bit because otherwise we're going to die. Yo. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't.
The thing is,
nothing else mattered without the ending.
The thing is, though, they did such a good run.
They didn't know.
They had such a good run that I'm willing to give them that chance to mess up one more time on an ending.
You're wasting your life. That's insane.
Because most shows can't even get to the ending for me.
That really doesn't.
If I'm not even gonna watch it to the end, that's a waste of my time. That beyond anything.
Yeah, that's
if
why
I'm gonna lose interest before we even get there.
That's why I don't start like serious show. Like it took me a while to get into Game of Thrones just because I'm like, this is gonna be a whole thing, and it's not over. So that was always for every single game. Like we constantly talk about it, and it's just like we're talking about it now. God damn it.
I tried to cruise it off to another one.
I couldn't get past the point they couldn't fucking land it, like because you have to. Like when you took off the goddamn ground, you knew there was gonna be a destination. You knew you had to land it, and I don't. Unlike an actual pilot, I don't fault them for not knowing where they were gonna land, because that's kind of part of the adventure of writing like a big world, a big story. You're kind of trying to live with the characters. It was like, what would they do? And it was like, all right, we put him in this situation. What would John actually do in this situation? What does this character tell him to do? So if he does this, how are they going to react to this? Like, you kind of play it out. Like, I get that mindset. But once you're running out of fuel, you got to land. Like, at a certain point, all all right, we've reached the destination. We don't know where we are, but we're running out of fuel, so we're going down regardless, right?
Yeah. This one's going to be
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not
more by the George Martin book.
I don't even trust him. Everybody lost credibility, man, because it was so big. It was so big. Like no shows had a budget like that. Like each episode of that last season was like a fucking blockbuster
small
movie.
Yeah.
Like not a small movie. No. Like a blockbuster. Small if you're a Marvel movie, maybe. Like if you're anyone else, that was the bag. Like they got. What do you need? This is not like this. How much we have to work. HBO's. What the fuck do you need to land the goddamn plane? Like, you understand what I'm saying? You got the bag because you're the only one paying bills around here. Who else is paying bills at HBO? We got the dragons and we got John Oliver telling you why everything sucks. Like, no. What do you need? What do you need from us to land this goddamn plane?
We'll make it happen.
You need more dragons? We'll get you more dragons. What do you want? You want an ice dragon? Ice dragon. You want fire? You want blue fire? You want to fight at night? You want an army? What do you want to do?
No, like
you got every. There's no excuses. They took it. There's no excuses. Like all you have to do is your goddamn job. Why are we talking about this?
Give the mic a whoop just
to
let them know we're
It's such bullshit. Like it's like we're dealing with children. Like I mean, fuck, man. Like that's how parents must feel. Like you raise this little shit from an infant. You gave it everything. It's like we're doing well. We got money here. What do you want? Private school? Got that. What do you want? You want toys as a little kid? I'm stimulating that imagination. Boom, here you go. Fucking everything. After school activities. You want to play baseball, basketball, football? You suck at all of them? Fuck it. We're still gonna put you in that shit. We got it. We're just trying to cultivate a good human being. And then this son of a bitch turns 18 and starts doing heroin, and you're just like, why the fuck did I put 18 years of my life and resources and love into this little shit, and he's just gonna go kill himself and ruin it for nothing? For nothing. There was no reason for this. There was no struggle. I gave you everything. I gave you everything.
That's this generation of parents right now.
Dude, like
they're struggling.
How do you not lose your goddamn mind? Like that's I gave you everything to succeed. I even wrote the first stories for you. All you had to do was just go to where you just be successful.
That was my problem.
Yeah, I mean, like
all you had to do was follow the book. It's right. It's on it's written,
dude.
It's written.
I don't.
See, this is why SpongeBob was such a hit.
What? What does that even mean? You gotta get it off. What are you fucking saying? Like, what are you trying to say?
I mean, there's such a hit. I mean, I could have named anyone. That was to make you laugh.
That was. Because how?
Because it's so purposeless, and they don't have much to follow. Just be funny.
No, I mean that's fair. I mean, but it's the two different kinds of like. That's what I'm saying. Like
it's very different.
Those are the differences.
I mean, the only show I've seen where they just ended things really well, that was like, oh Lord, what was the name of it?
Oh well.
Here, yeah, go ahead. I'm about to remember it right now. What were you about to say?
Because you say the shit. What did you just say?
SpongeBob.
All right. Because I dare say, BoJack might be finding itself in the same situation coming up because of it's an animation. It kind of leans itself to be like an Eternal, right? It's kind of one of the big parts of making an animation. No one ages. This could be what it is forever. BoJack isn't that though. It's not stagnant. All the characters are progressing heavy. Like, everyone's being fleshed out into full personalities. Like, BoJack's dealing with addiction. The cat's dealing with motherhood and balancing everything. The chick, the writer, she's dealing with like loneliness and whatever. Todd is really the only constant, where he's just like a engine of not even chaos. He just reacts to everything and just it works out for him. He never really progresses. Like, even if he becomes CEO and then he loses the company or some shit, like he just is what he is. But BoJack is reaching. It can't go on forever. Not the way they're doing it. Not the way the story's lined up. Like, it's gonna reach a head, or it has to reach a ending, almost. Because I mean, like, these aren't even eternal characters. Like, BoJack could die. Like, he's not. You know what I mean? Like, that's not. I'm not saying he would, or I'm just saying that's not impossible in the scheme of the show. Like, SpongeBob can't die. You know what I'm saying? There's no episode where you're gonna turn on and Patrick is mourning SpongeBob. It's not possible. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Same with Mr. Nobody. Like, no, it's never going that far, and there's no destination. I haven't watched SpongeBob since I was a little kid, and even then I was like, this is some bullshit. But there's no real character development. Like, SpongeBob, I don't think has become a. Does he still work at the fucking Krabby Patty?
Oh, I haven't watched it in years.
But you know what I'm saying?
He never changes.
You know what I'm saying? That's not what they were going for. This is not the story of the epic of SpongeBob SquarePants and his lineage in the sea, and like, you know what I'm saying? It's not what that is. Like, even like all your family sitcom, any sitcom, even with people, even that's the rule of a sitcom. Nothing can change. At the end of each episode, the people have to be more or less back to what they were, so we can start this roller coaster again on that next episode. Yeah. Friends, Seinfeld, literally any sitcom. Like, you can have moments of flux, but you come back to zero. There could be some growth in there, like couples will get together, whatever, but like, no one's really leaving. We're still in this container. We can progress within it a little bit, but we're in this thing. BoJack, especially the tone. I feel like I'm on the edge of my seat every episode. Like, something tragic could happen at any time. It just can't go forever. I guess is just my point. Like, it just can't. It's not made to go forever. I don't think. Like, I feel like it's finite. I
felt like BoJack, and I'm not caught up, so I can't speak on it definitively. But I feel like they've been trying to do a balancing act on that. Like, and I feel like that's partially because Netflix is trying to make like groundbreaking content, and partially because they need that content to last. So, like, the changes I do see in BoJack, it's almost like a stock market retracement. He doesn't just undo the changes, but they try to give it like a Rick and Morty spin when they're doing these things. And you see that it's still impacting him. It goes on, and you can see it. They do it without actually telling you, but they try to make light of those changes that are happening as they're happening. And I can't tell.
I don't know if he undoes them though. Does he undo them though?
No. He doesn't undo them, but he's making very light of them. He's making it into jokes, and like I said, later on you'll see they don't just say like, "Oh yeah, this was an important lesson," but you'll see in the way BoJack reacts or the way someone even talks to him
but
that
like,
it's impactful. There's
real consequences, I guess. That's I think the difference. Because even you have to see his last season. But they even finished the season referencing something that happened in an earlier season. Okay. That you felt that was like that, where it's like, oh, that just happened, and they kind of.
See, I'm only on season 3.
What is there? Are they on 5?
Yeah, I think that's 6 that was just came.
Oh, then yeah, I don't even know.
That was just 6.
Because they ended on that, and you're just like, Oh shit, that did happen. It was a couple seasons ago.
I think the last episode for this last season didn't even come out. I think that was supposed to be a special for New Year's.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
So they ended it on a cliffhanger.
Basically.
Oh, that's interesting because I know what that cliffhanger is, so it's interesting. Because I don't know if you could deal with that or not.
Yeah.
But see, I guess even in my mind of thinking of how they would deal with that cliffhanger or whatever, especially if they try to do like a show, then that's a finale.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If they try to do like an hour or one big event to finish that, then that's more into what I'm saying. That it's a finite thing. You know, it's there's a back end to it. Yeah, I really think so.
Oh, this show's gonna end after this season.
Oh, okay. So it's not gonna go well.
Yeah.
You gotta watch it. I mean, but that goes into that makes sense. That goes into what I was saying. Like it's working to a conclusion. Like this just can't go forever.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable because he's not sustainable as a I was about to say a person, but he's a horse. So as a living thing, like, that makes sense. But that's a great show. Super clever, like all the little jokes. I love how they use the animal shit to make more jokes. Like each animal's like they're humanized, but like they still do the animal shit. Like, I don't know.
No, I do like the way they play that out.
Like the birds being like reporters and shit. I was trying to find one that was not super recent. Like just them flying around. It just made sense.
I think there was one where they made a reference to like a stud horse for his dad. For him to be like the guy.
Yeah.
But even within that, they.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super early.
There's a lot to because you haven't even where you did the movie.
And then gets like kicked off, and that becomes a thing with he was trying to get with the writer girl. He's done more than.
There could have been a couple movies.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember Secretariat.
I do remember the name Secretariat.
He's playing a racehorse. That's not.
Oh, and that becomes a problem, and then they start beefing.
Well, I don't even.
Wait.
I don't even know why I brought that.
Was there a whale? There was like a whale. He was getting into it.
That whale.
Yeah.
They bring him back in this last. He has my favorite fucking scene. Him and that writer in this last season. The girl.
Mm-hmm.
They get into it. Really, Diane? It's the best. I can't spoil any of it, but like, it's so fucking. It was the best conversation I've watched on TV, outside of Dolomite, the cocksucking conversation. It's like you can call a guy a cocksucker, but you can't say that a guy sucked a cock. Can't you understand the difference? You can't grasp the difference. It's like no. If I would say a girl's pussy's hot enough to set her asshole on fire, I'm gonna say it. I was like, this is amazing.
Dolomite's the man. Like
that movie, that immediately became like my top 3 movies ever. That movie is a masterpiece from back to forth.
I have to watch it again.
And I've watched it twice. I feel like I've been hype beast because like I like the I like Kanye's album more than probably everybody, but like I don't know, that's a whole different thing. But stick on Dolomite, but
yeah, because let's not talk about Jesus as king.
Nah, that's a whole different thing. So I have opinions on that, but like I had to like settle down. All right, let's kind of go into this first. let's jump onto this Kanye thing.
Yeah, honestly,
have you heard it?
No, I don't have strong feelings about it. No, like I've seen the online sentiment, and for me, the sentiment is only that you're making this into a Jesus thing when you could have just you should. I don't think you should have made that the title. That's really it for me.
Well,
If you're gonna make the album about Jesus, about your faith, or anything like that, please go ahead. But don't make it the title. You're gonna turn people off.
that that's I didn't think it's really, that really has nothing to do. The title's fine. I feel like it just is what it is. I don't know how many gospel songs have Jesus in the title, but I would think that's not the only one.
I've heard a lot of people dissing it for just that.
Oh, that's not enough. There's reasons to diss it,
What?
but there's also, I think, some good parts in it. Like the production, the music is. Yeah, I'm gonna say I still feel this way. It's the music, the fucking production.
You're about to use the B word.
Beats, huh?
You about to use the B word? I could have sworn I heard best coming out your mouth.
Yeah, man. Like it's really it's the best production, in my opinion, since My Dark Twisted Fantasy. Just because it's lovely. Like it's really the music. If it were instrumental, it would be the hottest instrumental in the streets.
Okay.
Bar none.
Okay.
Like I truly believe that. Even like there's one possible banger, right? There's only like I don't have my phone. It's only like 7 or 8 songs, right? One banger. Everyone that talks about it. Track 3 is universally like this would have been a smash if the lyrics were better. Like the flow crushes. The fucking beat relentless. Unbelievable. You can put anybody on that shit and it's a smash. I don't know why I keep thinking 2 Chainz on that, but like it makes sense to me.
2 Chainz belongs on every hard beat.
Yeah, that is no exception to that one because that shit is great. We'll play it once it's done.
Yeah.
But like, and so all right, so that's universally like if there's a bright spot, people agree number 3 is tight and could have been tighter. His rhyming on it's you can say suspect. The actual lyrics of it. And even there's a couple other songs. I appreciate he has a song with Pusha T and Malice, The Clips. And Kenny, God, I wish I had the fucking thing. There's someone else on it, but he raps. And so you get 8 bars out of Push and 8 bars out of Malice. And I appreciate that song because there's a lot of things about that song in particular. I appreciated that he was able to get the Clips back together. Malice and Pusha T are brothers, like
yeah, they
related.
had some kind of beef.
They didn't have beef. Malice found God and just didn't want to do coke rap anymore. Like they came up doing gangster pushing rap, like I sell rocks, like selling cocaine, moving this shit by the ton. That's the Clips.
Okay.
That's what they do. They even had a spinoff where they brought in 2 other people and it was like a collective. They were called the Re-Up Gang. That shows you where the mind's at. All right. So they're doing this, putting out smashes, and Malice is like, "Yeah, we can't. We can't do this anymore." It's like, "Yeah, I found God and I think we're destroying our community." So I love you, but I gotta stop. I gotta stop doing this. So Push is like, all right, I'm not gonna stop because I'm really good at this and whatever. However that conversation went. So Pusha T goes on to be Pusha T and President of Good Music and all that, and Malice turns into No Malice, and so he starts doing gospel rap. I have not heard any of this, but it happened. So that's the lane. So that's where the 2 brothers divided, right? So to come back on one track, beautiful thing. And Push is talking about being Push, like, not really being a person walking in faith, but kind of knowing that at the same time. So I know I'm not quoting. I don't remember any bars to really quote from it, but just more paraphrasing the feeling is I'm walking in sin. I know it, but this is working. This is It is what it is. And Malice comes on. It was like, all right, I know what I was. I was arrogant to even think it. Like, he has a hard bar in there. Like, nope, I thought I had it. I don't. Like,
we'll peep it right now.
He was like, it was hard too. I can't pull it. But he's like something I did and struck a pose. If you heard it, you know what I'm talking about. But it was basically just saying like I did all this bad stuff, and I was so arrogant. I struck a pose, you know, stunting on it, bragging about it. You know what I'm saying? But it was really fucked up. And he ends it with like keeping. It's like, you know, my brother's not. It's like keeping faith in your brother or whatever. And it's just basically like him holding on. It's like, I know what we were. I know you're still off the path, but I'm still here for you. It's more or less the paraphrasing of the feeling of what it was. Beautiful, especially on the track. The track. All right, so that's the clips. So I appreciate that, bringing those things back together. We haven't heard the clips wrapped together in probably over a decade. It made sense. I wish we would have got longer verses, but for what it was, fine. Kanye did something on it. Kanye was on there. I can't remember his contribution. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't as important as that was to me. Now, on that same song, the motherfucking beat blows me away. Like, it's great, and it never drops. It doesn't drop until everyone's finished rapping. It took me a couple listens to even realize that happened. Because the first time I was like, something's off about that. It's like, what? It's tight, but like, something's off. Then I go back and I'm like, yo, the beat never dropped. Like, you're like, oh, it's going to, and it doesn't. And then the saxophone comes in, and it's beautiful. And then the beat drops, and you're just like, what in the whole hell? This would have been like, this is a whole different song that could have.
This is all I've been thinking
like,
about.
Someone needs to fucking go on that beat. Like, the beat's hard. They didn't rap on there's no drums in that song. So like, yeah, I feel like the music, the production. I guess I can't just say music. I think I said that earlier and overreached when I said, like, not right now, but like when I'm talking about earlier in the week or last week. I was just like, yeah, it's best like musically since whatever, but it's the production. I don't mean the whole pack. Like,
yeah,
I feel like the music is undeniable.
Okay.
Now, Kanye's lyrics and stuff on top of that can leave a lot to be desired.
I'm with you with that one, because I've been questioning Kanye's rapping for a little minute, and this isn't even from a real Kanye West fan. Like, this is just coming from, I heard Stronger, I heard College Dropout, and I heard Blessings. Like, these aren't any of those.
No.
And I can't tell if he's like under the influence of someone else, and that's making him.
I think it's the lack of that, because like he's used apparently a lot of writers in the past, like even like I don't know which period. I put all his albums in like periods, like I would say. I don't know which period Travis Scott was like writing for him, but that was a thing. You know, Sci-Hi is on said team. I don't know if he writes for him particularly, but he bounces a lot of shit off people. That's why you see like in his the credits of the songs, like the writers would be like 30 motherfuckers. Like, so like he's a crowdsourcing person for lyrics, which whatever. I don't as long as it's good, really. I don't.
Yeah,
it
no,
doesn't bother me. But you can't do that and then have bad lyrics. So you gotta pick one. So either he's not doing that and whatever, and this is what he has, or I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah, I've had trouble with his lyrics, but even especially with that video he did of like his Sunday service when he was doing the instrumentals there, playing them and shifting them, I was like, yo, this man's a genius.
Yeah.
But he should be a producer.
See, you can't put him back in that box though.
I know.
That's how this all started.
I don't want him to
be the
be
producer, and then he was like, "Nah, but I can rap." and he rapped. And
I don't want to put him in the box. I want him to put himself in the box. I need you to see that you're not rapping as the same as you used to be. If you were gonna fix that, sure, just fix it. But
I don't know how Kanye processes information.
And he also has like more and more of his fashion he's doing. I can't tell if it's too much of a split focus. It's so much going on.
I don't think so. It's just there's way more. Like he's just going. He's in a manic state, or has been for a while. Maybe this is him, and he's trying to find like a inner peace. Truly, we're looking at a man really just trying to find peace. He doesn't know where to find it. God and religion is, it's almost cliche. Like it's where everyone runs for it. You reach your bottom, go to the church, find solace. So and I feel like people there by default have to be nice. So they're not gonna come out too crazy. And I see what he's trying to do. It's just not being executed well. No, I can't even say I know what he's trying to do because I don't know if he knows.
Because that was my next question. What does executed well look like?
First 3 albums, first 4 albums, first 5 albums. But see,
so
I don't know what that means personally though. I don't know what Kanye, a personal life. I don't know what that a healthy Kanye personal life means. I don't know if he has it. I don't know what changes would make that.
And I don't know how. I don't know how that would affect his music.
I can't say I care about his music, but at this point, I kind of just want him to be okay. If he never released another, like that's what I don't mind. If Kanye never releases another secular album again, but is more or less happy and healthy, I'm fine with this. Jesus is King 2, 3, 4, whatever, and you can accept them how you want to. I don't know if I'll listen to all of them or whatever. I'll check them all out. Can't not check them out. Kanye is like a living Game of Thrones at this point. And this one
You're going back for the prequel.
No. Just this is a drive-by. No. He only because this is it. Only because I'm terrified he can't land this plane. And when a person can't land the plane, that's a different kind of tragedy. It's not. It's a different. That's a real tragedy. You know what I mean? Like all the stakes are at hand. Like I don't know how Kanye ends, but if it's an explosive ending, it's not good. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause we've watched this guy kind of lose his mind a little bit, or be stripped away of something. Like something's missing, or he's trying to find something. When his mom died, this kind of all got dissolved, just got put into motion, and he's never really found anything to cling on to since then. I mean, well, it's fucked up. He has kids and he has a wife, so I mean, there's that. But like, I can't say. I don't want to say that like it's a small thing, but I mean, compared to your mom, maybe, yeah. I mean, but like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. But like, yeah, I don't know. I just want peace, and I don't think you can't get rid of his ego, because also this is the biggest ego. We're in the time of ego. Ego really let loose. The internet, I feel like, has brought that where it's me. We're recording a conversation to share with people for no reason. There's really no reason to do this other than that's a thing to do. You know what I'm saying? But like this, it's to feed some part of the ego to validation and for something. I don't know. When I find the answer, I'll let everyone know why. But other than that, it's just for more. I don't know. But that's like the time we're in, right? That's just what social media does. Like, I put up a post. How many likes can I get? How many comments? What people think about this? Like, and if people don't react to that properly, I might change up my whole shit until I get these likes up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's this goes back to Dolomite with Randy Ray Moore. He's just trying to find, like, what do people fuck with? Like, what can I do that connects with people? You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is, so it's always been a thing, but now the accessibility to that acknowledgement is easier. Like, this is as small a production as you could do. Literally 10 years ago, it's like $1,000, like a couple $1,000 of production. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now it's like a tenth of that. And back in Rudy's time, it took him like 70,000, I think 80,000 to make Dolomite. That's not a good movie. You know what I'm saying? Dolomite is not a good movie. People go back and watch it now, and they're like, "Bro, I don't know. It was made in the 70s. I can't judge it. It looks crazy. It looks dated." Yeah, it's all that. Fuck that, though. Go back and go on a time machine, watch that movie. It's not a technically good movie. The story is loose as fuck. Like, it makes no sense. They even point that out in the movie when Wesley Snipes is arguing with them in the hallway, where he's like, "So wait a minute, why would the warrant just let Dolomite go?" He's like, "Yeah, because he's friends with he's friends with a woman that runs a whorehouse. So he's gonna let a guy that just picked up for drugs go to do what? It's like, no, that's not how anything works. Like, it's really bad. It's really bad. Like, it's not. It's a terrible plot. Like, there's plot holes. You remember? You probably haven't seen Dolomite. You saw My Name Is Dolomite, but the movie, it's on YouTube. It's worth a peek just to see what that translated into, because it was a phenomenon and all that. And it's a comedy. A lot of the comedy comes from the lack of quality. I mean, there's good jokes and stuff, but like in the character, but it's just technically not sound. Like, if you're just judging a story, a plot, just basic rules of storytelling, like, it's. He goes to jail twice in that movie. Gets out for no reason for both times. Second time's after murder. He's in a room with a dead body after he killed the guy. Police walk up. Same ones that possibly framed him in the first one. I don't know if they never really go into that either. Like, you see in My Name Is Dolomite, they shoot that scene where he's doing the karate at the trunk, and he's like, "Oh, that wasn't there. You're trying to frame me or whatever." They never really. I don't know if
that was purposeful.
I don't know if they did frame him or if he had the illegal stuff and was just saying that just because that's the first thing I would say if I had a trunk full of cocaine. Hey, I don't know how that got there. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's obviously the first thing anyone would say.
How you put it there so fast?
Yeah, like, all right, you're not gonna be like, all right, you got me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got one lie to get off. I've never seen that shit before. That's the default. So I don't know. So they never really
go into it.
That makes sense. They not even a little. They don't even try. Like
I do kind of miss those parts in movies where they just wouldn't tell you.
No. This is bad though. This is not like we'll get to it later, or this is for any reason other than they just didn't know how to do it or didn't care. Like, because he goes to jail for that. Like, I can't really spoil Dolomite because it's not a spoilable thing. Like, he starts in jail. He's released from jail, as you see them play out in the movie with the white guy and the warden. Gets released from jail, kills some people. The same cops are after him like the whole movie for whatever reason. Don't answer that either. He kills a guy in this room. The police come in. "We got you, Dolomite. This time you're going away for murder." They arrest him for murder. He goes to jail. for murder. And he's bailed out the next day by someone he doesn't even know. None of this shit is addressed. They don't even try to make it make sense. Like, I can't convey it is nuts. Cause as you're watching My Name is Dolomite, you're just like, damn, like, they heard his albums. Why wouldn't they take his movie? Like, he's on. Why wouldn't no one buy this fucking movie? And like, even when he's in the little booth, he's talking. He's like, "Yeah, it was a real movie, of course." He's like, "No, but I learned karate for the movies." So, like, you can think about what they're saying. Like, what, was this a joke? Like, so do you know karate, Dolomite? Like, what? And that was her first movie? Yeah, obviously. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was a reason. Like, his persistence through it is unbelievable. And I love that movie so much. It's such a inspiration to just fucking do shit.
Yeah.
Just be relentless and make stuff. But I mean, that actually, the quality of his movie is even a more testament to his just bulldog nature of not giving up. Because if put in the same position, once you've gotten that shit and you've put it up and you're just like, okay, what did we do? Huh. So it doesn't even look like okay.
See, for that one,
and I didn't even. So we're not even gonna explain. No.
To be honest, for that one, I'm starting to believe that people really be thinking that shit's good. Because there's been a few products I've seen lately where it's like somebody had to tell you.
No, but it's funny though. It's a funny movie.
It was supposed to be
debatable. They asked him that question multiple times in the movie. Like, when they're showing in theaters, like, dude, that's gonna be Shaft. He's like, nah, it's comedy. They get it. I don't know if that was self-confident. Like, I don't know I don't think he cared.
Is that the kind of stuff they say in the regular Dolomite? Because in My Name is Dolomite, I understand that. Like, oh, is this supposed to be funny? Like, yeah, but in the actual movie, like...
No, it's not like meta. It's not good enough to be meta. Like, there's no...
Okay.
There's no double entendres. There's no deeper meanings. There's no...
This is why he got out of jail for no reason.
Dude, no reason. Just bailed out. And the lady picks him up. Doesn't know who she is. Doesn't even ask. It's like, what the fuck? For murder? And he's black? In the what? Like, what?
Everything's blind against
Yo, that's
son.
crazy today. Then what?
How?
Yeah, like this. You're constantly like, wait, what? Okay, but it doesn't matter. Like, it's just it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
But it's not. Yeah. So.
Because in the Eddie Murphy version, like, the meta they make out of it is dope.
Well, see, that movie itself was meta.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was just about to say, because I didn't even know that. I didn't even know Dolomite, the movie, was a thing.
It's a whole thing.
Until the end of the movie when they're, like, basically giving you we just made a history movie epilogue.
It's a biopic. Like, yeah, these are all real, it's all happened.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sitting here like, oh, so this is a human that existed and made this movie.
Yeah, it's a big influence for Snoop. Snoop has said there was no, that's why he was in it. I guess I'm sure Snoop's great, but like, I'm sure there's extra like, yo, please let me be in this movie, because he's talked about it before on his show, on GGN. He's brought up Dolomite before, just in passing, and he's said it a couple times like, yo, if it wasn't for these movies, there would be no Snoop Dogg. He's like, I got my, like, a lot of the swag, the way he talks, it's like from those kind of movies and stuff. Like, so it was a whole thing. But that doesn't make the quality of them, that doesn't make them not what they were. It doesn't mean they're not watchable or anything. They're just not in the quality sense of story, plot, even acting ability. Because again, they weren't the best actors either. I mean, you know, it doesn't really matter.
They're regular people.
Yeah, so like it. Yeah, I don't know. It's a testament to human pursuit, like what you can do when you just won't stop, and that's everything. Because they again, like it even says in the credits, they went on to make like 8 more movies. And if you go on IMDb, look up Rudy Ray, Rudy, right? Randy,
Randy Ray Moore.
Randy Ray Moore. His filmography, it's a long filmography.
Oh, Rudy Ray Moore.
Rudy Ray Moore.
You had that.
I don't know the fuck his name. Yeah, he did a lot of shit. So I'm sure they got better. Again, that was his first one as well. I downloaded his second one. I think it's called Human Tornado.
Yep.
And that's the one with that sex scene. That's the sex scene that they shoot in the movie. Is not in the first Dolomite movie.
Disco Godfather.
They're actually in Dolomite. There's like 2 sex scenes, but they're not they're not that crazy. They're pretty regular. But apparently in the Human Tornado, that's where that scene comes from. So I want to sit down and watch that. Just because I want to see if there was progression as well. Because once you made the first movie, it's like, okay, that's a huge exhale. And it's like, all right, this made us money. That's huge. Fucking got all his albums back, owning that. Making money. So now we can make more movies. Now we've done this before. Our team has worked together before. We've written shit. Like, I want to see the progression. And it's not even like the writer wasn't a writer before. He just never wrote a movie, and then he had to compromise with Dolomite's or Rudy's weirdness. He's like, I want to tell how it is. He's like, yeah, it's why he's fault. He's like, yep, yeah, damn right. And he's like, yeah, he's working with the cops. And then there's exorcism. It's like, wow, wait a minute. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so he had to he was constantly on that ebb and flow of, all right, this would be good writing, but he wants some crazy shit to happen here. And, like, he wants a team full of female ninjas. And it's like, okay, well, that's in the movie. That's the thing. It's a lot of them. While you're in jail, I put your daughters through karate school. That's a sentence in that movie. That's a whole plot point. Like, they go man, that shit is nuts.
They're for real though.
Dude, that shit is nuts. But like, it is what he wants. You got comedy, you got karate, you got titties. He delivered on what he tried to do.
No,
and he did it.
I like that, and he even says it the clearest. He was like, "What do they like?" He lists them all off, and he was like, "And that's what's gonna be in the movie."
Yeah.
I was like, "There it is."
Yeah. So I mean, it's nothing but I love everything about that movie. All the actors. I love it was the blackest shit I've ever seen. I mean that in the most beautiful way I could possibly mean it. Like, for real. Like,
the improvisation.
Just there was for one, there was like
all black,
6
all
white
the
people,
black actors,
and they were all super secondary. You know what I'm saying? Like, T.I. was in there, not looking like T.I. That was an amazing fucking costume.
Yeah.
Like, I looked at him, I was like, I didn't recognize him. As soon as he started talking, I was like, holy fuck. Well done. Well done. I love all the roles. Mike Epps to Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes killed it. I don't know his real name. Titus from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. He was the producer, and he was the guy working with him in the album store.
Bro, Snoop Dogg was in the album store.
Well, he was the DJ, but I'm saying actually behind the counter. Like, when they go to draw out the bum, he's the one having the conversation. You throw him out. It's like, no, you're the assistant manager. You gotta do it. I'm not touching that guy. Yeah, he was great. Everybody, like, everyone killed it.
Yeah.
Eddie, the King is back. I'm so excited about this new Eddie Murphy run, because this is how you coming back. This is how I hope people are fucking taking notes of how to be a fucking star. Like, Eddie Murphy, he had some hiccups, but like, he came back to let you motherfuckers know. He's like, you thought it was sweet out here. I'm back. Like, this is what I do. Crushed it. Coming to America 2, coming. If it's on the same level, then we have a real problem. He's gonna fuck up the whole city because that's the power he has. Like he's so good. And then he's gonna come back and do stand up. And if Eddie Murphy comes back and does an hour of fire,
God,
the whole landscape's over. Like it's
he hasn't done anything in a long time.
No, but you gotta watch. I'll send it to you. Yeah. And actually, we'll play.
You wanna end it right here? I gotta get in this bathroom.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Dude, I didn't even remember until I looked into the Halo for a second. I was like, oh yeah, because I was just gonna get up. I was like, oh yeah.
Oh well.
We're still recording, but
yeah, I guess we can cut here. I guess we got everything.
How much have we gotten?
We've been going for like 2:14, 2:15, exactly right there.
Oh, that was a good one.
So yeah, I think
we gotta go over it.
I guess we can wrap it.
Yeah.
I guess we have to put a bow on this bitch. So alright, thank you for watching. If you watched, if you made it to this far, then
you're the best.
For real. That's impossible. I don't think I don't know what we've been talking about. There will be more, I assume. And
it will get better, guys.
It should get better. I hope so. I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
It'll get better. I believe that. Alright, well, until next time.
We're out, guys.
Deuces. That was good.
Halo light.
Yeah, I like that. I think we got it off.
Nah, and we kind of breezed through that.
Yeah.